I never thought the people who lived under the same roof, the ones I cooked for, cleaned for, and paid every bill for, would turn on me so easily. But they did. It started with a stolen $7,000, my entire savings, gone overnight. And when I pointed fingers at the one who took it, I expected my mother to at least ask why. Instead, she told me to get out of the house I had been holding together for years. They had no idea I was the one quietly paying the rent, keeping the lights on, and covering every meal they ever ate. So I stopped. I stopped paying. I stopped helping. And I walked away. What happened next they never saw coming. My name is Rose, and I'm 28 years old. Most people think I'm quiet, maybe even boring. I don't post much on social media. I don't go out every weekend. But what people don't see is how much I've been doing for my family, especially my mom and younger sister, Tina. Tina is 25. She's beautiful, loud, and always the center of attention. She doesn't work. She spends her days shopping, getting her nails done, and hanging out with her rich friends. Everyone calls her a princess, and honestly, my mom treats her like one. Meanwhile, I've been working full-time at a small accounting firm. Every month, I quietly paid the rent, water bill, electricity, internet, groceries, everything. My mom doesn't work either, so it was all on me. They never asked how the bills got paid. They just assumed everything was taken care of, and it was by me. For the past year, I've been saving money. I kept it in a separate account, slowly building up to $7,000. That was supposed to be my freedom fund. I wanted to move out, get a place of my own, maybe even take a short vacation. I never told anyone about it. It was my one secret. But everything changed one Friday afternoon. I came home from work and checked my account like I always did at the end of the week. And my heart dropped. The $7,000 was gone. Every single dollar. At first, I thought it was a mistake. A bank error. I started sweating, shaking. But then I saw the details. Multiple purchases, designer bags, shoes, a spa package, and even a payment for a weekend resort. And guess whose name was on one of the receipts? Tina. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. At first, I told myself, no, maybe it's someone else with the same name. Maybe there's a mistake. But deep down, I already knew the truth. Tina had taken my money, my savings, and used it like her own personal credit card. I marched into the living room, where Tina was lounging on the couch, scrolling through her phone and laughing at something on Instagram. Shopping bags were all around her. Expensive ones. I recognized one of them. It was from a designer store I had only ever walked past. Tina, I said, my voice shaking, did you use my bank account to buy all this? She barely looked up. Oh, calm down. You never spend your money anyway. I needed something cute for the weekend. I froze. She didn't even try to deny it. You stole $7,000 from me, I said. That was everything I had. Tina rolled her eyes. Don't be so dramatic. You act like you're poor. You live here for free. That made me snap. I pay the rent. I pay all the bills, Tina. You and Mom live here because of me. At that moment, my mom walked in from the kitchen. I turned to her, hoping she'd finally understand how unfair this was. I told her everything about the stolen money, the receipts, how Tina didn't care. I was shaking, my voice breaking. But instead of supporting me, my mom crossed her arms and glared. She's your sister, she said coldly. If you can't handle a little mistake, maybe you should leave this house. We don't need your drama here. I stood there in silence. I couldn't believe it. After everything I'd done for them, this was their response? No apology. No guilt. Just a threat. Leave the house. So I did. I packed my things that night. Clothes, documents, my laptop. I didn't say goodbye. I didn't yell or cry. I just walked out the door while they were both asleep. And when I left, I also stopped all the payments. No more rent. No more bills. Let's see how long their fake peace lasts without me. The first week after I left was quiet. I moved into a small studio apartment downtown. It wasn't fancy, but it was mine. No one yelling my name. No one stealing from me. I finally had peace. I turned off all auto payments linked to their house, rent, electricity, water, everything. I knew it would take a few days before the consequences hit, but I didn't care. I had done my part for years. It was time they figured it out on their own. Then the phone calls started. First, it was my mom. I didn't answer. Then Tina texted. Why is the Wi-Fi not working? I have a Zoom call. I laughed. The next day, more messages came in. Did you forget to pay the electricity? The landlord came by today. He said rent is overdue. What's going on? I stayed silent. That weekend, I saw something even better. One of Tina's so-called friends posted a video online. It was of Tina arguing with the landlord outside their front door. The caption read, "Princess gets a reality check." Tina looked furious, waving her arms and shouting, while the landlord explained calmly that they were being served a final eviction notice. The comments were brutal. People mocked her, called her spoiled. Some even mentioned me. Apparently, word had gotten out. A neighbor, maybe someone who had known for a while, spilled the truth on social media. A short post went viral in the local group chat. Fun fact, that freeloader daughter they kicked out? She was the one paying all their bills. Suddenly, people saw the full picture. And just like that, the house of cards started to fall. A few days after that video went viral, everything changed. Tina and my mom tried to do damage control. My mom posted one of those vague Facebook status updates. Sometimes people leave because they're too weak to stay. Family always wins. But no one was buying it. I had kept quiet until that moment. I was done protecting them. So I posted my own update. No anger. No insults. Just screenshots of every payment I had made for the past 2 years. Rent, water, electricity, groceries. Even Tina's hair salon and online shopping bills, all charged to my card. I ended the post with, "You don't get to call someone weak when they've been carrying you in silence." Within hours, it exploded. Old family friends messaged me privately, apologizing for ever doubting me. Distant cousins shared my post. Even Tina's best friend commented, "Damn. I didn't know you were the one paying for everything." I'm sorry. That was the real twist. People saw the truth. And Tina? She couldn't hide from it anymore. Her so-called friends stopped inviting her out. She posted one selfie saying, "Still winning," but deleted it after people flooded the comments with laughing emojis and the words, "On whose money?" My mom's reputation in the neighborhood collapsed too. She was known for boasting about how well she raised strong daughters. But now people whispered about her in grocery stores. One neighbor even confronted her. "You let your hardworking daughter walk out just to protect the one who robbed her?" And all this time I stayed silent, just watching. Sometimes revenge doesn't need words, just receipts. While they struggled to explain the mess they had created, I was finally free to focus on something I had always dreamed about, starting my own business. Using my last paycheck and a bit of savings I had kept hidden, I began filming simple videos from my studio apartment. Budget tips, financial advice, real-life experiences about family betrayal, all from someone who had lived it. I called the channel Rose on a Budget. At first, only a few people watched. But then, one of my videos, titled "My Sister Stole My $7,000 Savings. Here's What I Did," suddenly took off. The comments were flooded with support. So many people related to my story. And within weeks, I hit 10,000 subscribers. Then a small financial brand reached out to offer a sponsorship. Then another. Before I knew it, I had turned my pain into profit. One morning, while sipping coffee on my tiny balcony, I opened my email and saw a message that made me pause. It was from Tina. She wrote, "Hey, I just wanted to say sorry. I didn't realize how much you did for us. Things have been really hard here. Mom says we might get evicted soon. I was wondering if you could help us just this once." I stared at the message for a long time. And then I replied with one simple sentence. "Ask the person who defended you." I hit send and blocked her. It was never about the money. It was about respect, and they had none. Now I was finally building something of my own, and I wasn't going to let them drag me back into that darkness. I thought the worst was over. But life had one more surprise waiting. About a month after Tina's message, I received a letter in the mail. It was from my bank. Inside was a fraud alert notification. Apparently, someone had tried to access my old savings account using false identity verification. They failed, but the attempt had been flagged. I immediately contacted the fraud department and asked for details. After verifying my identity, the bank representative said, "The login attempt came from a different IP address and used a driver's license scan that wasn't yours. The name matched yours, but the photo didn't." I knew instantly. Tina had tried to impersonate me. Again. This time, she wasn't just stealing money. She was committing identity fraud. I took the evidence straight to the police and filed a report. The officer in charge took it seriously. Within days, they called me back with an update. They had traced the fake ID back to Tina's laptop. She had tried to create a fake version of my license using editing software. It was a criminal offense. When the case went to court, Tina tried to cry her way out of it. She told the judge she was desperate and broke and just wanted to borrow the money. But the judge didn't buy it. He fined her $5,000, ordered community service, and put her on probation with a criminal record for identity theft. She cried in the courtroom, but I felt nothing. As for my mom, she stood silently beside Tina, her eyes filled with shame. She didn't even look at me. I walked out of that courthouse taller than I'd ever felt in my life. For once, they were the ones paying the price. 6 months passed. Tina was still doing community service, cleaning streets in a yellow vest under court supervision. She couldn't get a job because of the criminal record. Most of her friends had cut ties with her after the drama. And my mom? She had been shunned by most of the family and neighbors. They moved out of the old house eventually. Rumor was, the landlord evicted them after 4 months of unpaid rent and constant complaints. Last I heard, they were staying in a small basement apartment on the edge of town, a long fall from the place they once ruled like royalty. But me? My life took a different path. My YouTube channel grew beyond anything I expected. I hit 100,000 subscribers, signed 3 sponsorship deals, and even got invited to speak at a women's finance workshop. Brands respected me. Strangers supported me. And I began to feel something I hadn't felt in years. Pride. I eventually bought a cozy little house with my own name on the papers. No shared rent. No stolen savings. No guilt. One evening, while unpacking in my new kitchen, I stood at the window with a cup of tea, watching the sunset. I thought about everything, the betrayal, the silence, the lies, the courtroom. And then I smiled. I didn't get revenge by shouting or breaking things. I got it by walking away, by standing up, and by rebuilding a life that no one could steal from me again. And I never looked back. If you felt inspired or connected to my story, make sure to like the video, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel for more true stories like this. Your support helps bring real voices to life and reminds others that walking away from toxic people isn't weakness, it's power.